Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Before we begin, this is not one of those videos where I will go do the strat and you can get a Mageblood in 3 days. I'll simply share what I've been doing so far, along with the Atlas trees. Also, it's worth noting that I've been extremely lucky this league. I just think I invested a bit too much into my starter. I've bought the Mageblood on the 11th day of the league. I guess I could have gotten it in the first week if I didn't do so. I haven't been able to play much in the last few days due to some personal stuff that's going on. I'm a bit bummed out, to be honest. I've also recorded a Sanctum guide, which will drop tomorrow. In the meantime, I will start leveling a gladiator while you're watching these videos. And finally try out the build that I put together and let you know what I've changed or whether it's worth playing with that much damage or whether the defenses are good enough to play a build at that budget, but we'll see. Before I move on to the actual footage, I want to give you some general tips if you want to buy chase items in this game. The first thing is play a content that you enjoy, because you will be doing this for hours. Don't pick a strategy just because it makes you good currency. You will make money with any kind of strat as long as you play. Well, maybe aside from uber bossing, that's one of the sure ways of losing money in this game. It's like gambling. The second thing is hideout is lava. Try to be more efficient. Don't sit around in your hideout for hours unless you're crafting or trading. But now with the currency exchange, you don't really have much of an excuse to sit in your hideout for that long. The third one, sell everything that you don't need. Pick a strong league starter so that you don't have to invest in much. Even though I started Ice Nova, which is probably the strongest character that I've played in this game, on par with Penance Brand in Affliction, but this one also has amazing clear without that much investment. So you can pick something like that, invest a little into it. Of course, if you're going to play it later in the league, you can invest in as much as you want, but still try saving some money for those chase items that you want to buy. And finally, while we're on the topic, don't save raw currency. Either buy the cards of the item, if it has cards of course, or buy mirror shards. You can sell them easily later and they will keep going up as the economy in the game progresses. So that way you won't lose a lot of money. Now let's get to the actual video. I logged into the game 15 minutes late on league start because I keep forgetting that you can get into queue before the servers open. I've done this twice in a row now. I finished the campaign in about 7 hours and 15 minutes. My practice run was better than this, but it's most likely due to being sleep deprived, since the league starts quite late in where I live, at about 11 PM. I don't live in US. I won't make the same mistake again, by the way. I'll play for a few hours, go to sleep, and keep playing the next day. It's just a personal note. After the campaign, I immediately started progressing my Atlas. I made a simple Atlas tree with Kirac missions as well as Betrayal. I usually switch to Betrayal later on, but this time I wanted to get over with it. And it also made me some currency along the way. I dropped a Veiled Orb on day 1 and sold it for 90 chaos. On day 2 I got my first Divine Drop, crafted my wand with a single essence. It's pretty good if you ask me for a single essence. Dropped an Asenath and sold it for 35 chaos. Got another raw divine drop. And got my 2 voice stones on day 2 of the league, and this is the fastest that I've ever progressed in the game. And also I didn't die to Exile this time. I didn't die to his ball face, so I'm really proud about it. Dropped another Veiled Orb and got a stack of Sephiroth from a Kirac mission. You know, before they disabled those missions due to a bug in the game. I bought a 6-link body armor immediately, and I saved up for Adversaries foible and bought it on day 2 again. On day 3 I've completed all the maps in the Atlas. By this time I switched to an Atlas tree with Harvest and Expedition, but after about a day or so I've dropped Expedition because having both of these mechanics in the same map, it was taking too much time to clear the maps. I killed Cortex, dropped the Hunter's Exalted Orb, recrafted another of my wands with 1 divine worth of essences. As I was doing Harvest, I found a divine altar in an All Can Go map. Of course with increased effect of modifiers from the tree, but still it was around 55 quant. And I got 17 divines from it. And this is day 4 of the league. The last one that I found was in Tota. I defeated Maven, dropped Ender Veiled Orb, and this. I swear man, this league was... this league is just playing with my mind. I defeated Sirius and then Uber Elder to get my last Void Stone. Did a tier 17 to get my last map slot. At this point I switched to my favorite strat in the game, Distracted Play. I usually combine this with strongboxes, but I've decided to try out Delirium this time. Since you will be clearing most of the map for Distracted Play, it felt right to include it. It's not crazy amounts of currency, but if you craft certain clusters like I did, you can make a lot of profit. Even if you don't know anything, just craft clusters for RF, sell them for profit, and thank to the RF Jesus himself. Then finally I defeated the Feared. On day 5 I dropped this Abomination. I just hate this item so much. And I started farming Fortress maps with the hope of dropping Yoke of Suffering. I will also include the Atlas tree that I've used for clearing T17s. It's a bit hard when you include certain Scarabs, so make sure your build is a bit strong before you attempt it. And I got 2 Yoke of Sufferings in about 15 maps or so, and sold each one for 10 divines. On day 6, I dropped an elemental damage with attacks and an Exalted Orb again. I was kind of bored with Ice Nova, and I wanted to switch to Hex Blast and maybe run some Sanctums. If you watch my SSF videos, I've played Hex Blast in those, and the build is really strong. It doesn't take much to get it up and running, especially in Trade League, where you have access to all the resources. I 6-linked a Restless Sword in about 600 fusings. I've crafted the wand for about 6 divines, and I didn't really spend much for the shield. I crafted it, I guess, in about 3 divines or so. You know, 1 divine worth of essences and the metacraft from the bench. And the most expensive part of this build was the Sandstone Visage, and I bought it for 10 divines. On day 7 and 8, I bought the first 2 apothecaries at 45 divines each, and I've started blasting Sanctum. These are the divine drops that I've gotten from the Sanctum, and I didn't or couldn't include everything because I don't have that much storage. Just for this reason, I'm thinking of streaming even if no one watches, because recording videos really takes up a lot of space on my PC. But of course, in most runs, you won't even find the divine because of not having a proper relic setup. Don't think that you will be getting this many divines in every single sanctum that you do. On day 9 and 10, I felt like I needed a bit more damage, so I corrupted my own Restless Sword for +2 to Hex Blast and 6-linked it afterwards with Tainted Orb of Fusings. I got my first divine from the shipment. I maxed out the league mechanic in the first week. It's not the most complicated mechanic. If you have any questions or anything that you're uncertain of, I can make a video about it as well. Just let me know in the comments. Bought my third card for 50 divines, and I got another divine from the shipment. On day 11, I've of course got some more divines from the Sanctum and bought my 4th card at 51 divines. Then I kept farming Sanctum towards my 5th card. And when I got this random divine drop from a mob in Sanctum, I realized something wasn't going right. I was down to my last card, had saved about 40 divines for it, and then this happened. Of course, I'm not going to complain about dropping an original scripture. I don't want to get stoned by the community. I will take it any day, but I just wish it dropped before I grinded my ass off for a Mageblood, but it is what it is. I sold the original scripture for 285 divines, helped a friend with an axe craft, and remembered again how disgusting it is to craft physical weapons in this game. If you have the money, just buy them. Then I bought my last card for 61 divines. I could have waited a few hours before buying it and possibly get it for 55 or maybe less, but paying a bit more didn't really budge my economy that much at this point. I got a 3 flask Mageblood from the cards. I believe this is the first time that happened to me. I found the Mageblood in a similar way in Tota, and I got a 4 flask back then during the Tota. I bought it straight up in Affliction and Necropolis. But it's not much of a problem. If you have the money to buy a Mageblood, then for sure you can roll it with Divine Orbs. And I rolled it 3 times, fortunately, and got a 4 flask Mageblood. After getting the Mageblood, I immediately switched to Occultist for Hexblast. It will take me about half an hour to run Sanctums with Trickster. Now I can do 1 run in about 15 minutes. Of course, movement speed from Mageblood helps, but the damage of the Occultist is just on another level. Then I got my relic setup for Room Reveal. I bought each of these for 7 to 8 divines. I had already dropped 1, so in total I spent around 100 divines in a day. It sure feels good to be rich in PathofExile. As I said in the beginning, I haven't played much after that. I had left 135 divines, and I've farmed about 60 divines in 3 days. I'm gonna keep playing, of course. I will keep doing Sanctums, but I really need a mapper, because this character cannot map. This is purely for Sanctum, for DPS. It's the HP, so it will really survive on the maps. And yeah, that's pretty much it from this video. As you've seen, I got carried in a lot of places by RNG, by luck. But even if those didn't happen, maybe I would have bought it in 4 or 5 days, later. And the reason why I dropped Harvest, because I wasn't making any profit from it. The Scarabs were priced for T17s. I was actually losing money running Harvest in T16s. That's why I switched to Destructive Play and then to Sanctum. I think that I'm an average player, maybe above average at times. I still have nowhere near the game knowledge of many players in this game. So I've done it like this. Of course you can do it faster or you can do it slower, but remember to have fun. At the end of the day, this is a game. Don't beat yourself up about it. Sanctum guide will drop tomorrow. Thanks for watching this video. You know the usual drill. I'd appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you tomorrow, and as always, have a good one.